I'm starting to notice some interesting signs that Mykelti Padron and her dad, Kody Brown, might actually be on the path toward mending their rocky relationship. And yes, if you just heard my chair squeak, that's because I literally had to lean all the way forward for this one. It's that surprising. It really looks like Mykelti is stepping up to help promote her dad's new Special Forces gig. Yep, you heard that right. She's not just mentioning it casually, she's actually helping him boost this project publicly. So let's dive right in. Mykelti and Tony recently shared something very telling on their Patreon. And by the way, if you haven't checked it out yet, their Patreon is where they do live rewatches of Sister Wives episodes, react to family moments, and talk openly about behind-the-scenes stuff. It's basically a reality TV fan's paradise. Now, in their most recent post, they discussed Kody's latest interview, a sneak peek preview connected to his new Special Forces appearance. Let's roll that metaphorical, beautiful bean footage, because I have thoughts, and I'm sure you'll have a few of your own after hearing this too. So, here's what happened. Mykelti and Tony sat down to do a little pre-watch session before the next big episode dropped. They were checking out an interview Kody did for Special Forces, which was shared on Lauren Ashley Beck's Instagram. Lauren did the interview through Fox, and it hasn't gotten a ton of attention yet, so they encouraged fans to go give it a look and decide for themselves if it's worth watching. Then Mykelti says something interesting. She likes that Kody didn't give away any juicy gossip or spoilers. Instead, he kept it light, simple, and professional. He basically said he'd do the whole experience again because he thought it was awesome. Tony chimed in, calling it a fun and positive interview. And honestly, that's surprising considering how intense those Special Forces challenges are. I mean, if you remember previous seasons, many participants walked away emotionally drained and physically beaten. Some were literally on the edge. So for Kody to say he'd willingly go through that again? That's bold. Then Mykelti mentioned something even more shocking. Apparently, Kody said he'd love to do the experience again with family. Yep, you heard that right. He'd take Logan and Hunter with him next time. Can you even imagine those three together on a military-style reality show? That would be a sight. Tony joked about it too, saying that Logan and Hunter are probably at the peak of physical ability out of all the siblings. Mykelti agreed, laughing and saying, "Yeah, 100%. But she didn't stop there. Mykelti went on to say that with a little training she could do it too. Tony laughed and gave her that look, like, sure you could. But she stood her ground. She said, I can go beast mode. I can do it. Then Tony called her out, reminding her that she didn't even go cliff jumping when he tried to get her to years ago. Mykelti fired back, when was that? And Tony said, in Sand Hollow, St. George, 11 years ago. She laughed, saying, oh, and Quail Lake, that was like 6 years ago. Then she added, I'm a mom now. I'm a different kind of beast. Tony teased her again, asking if that meant she could finally go cliff jumping. Mykelti confidently said, yeah, I could go cliff jumping now. Tony laughed and said, you guys heard that. Just you wait. But Mykelti, being the practical mom she is, added, we just need to make sure our will is ready and our life insurance is updated, because we've got 3 kids. Tony brushed it off with a grin. It's going to be fine. And then they wrapped it up by reminding everyone, Special Forces tonight, guys. See you then. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This is a completely different tone from the criticism Mykelti has thrown at Kody in the past. Usually, she doesn't hold back when it comes to calling out her dad's behavior on Sister Wives. But this time, it felt softer, more supportive, even proud. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. Healing old wounds and rebuilding family bridges can take time. Maybe this is a step toward that. Maybe some real reconciliation is happening behind the scenes. But I also can't help but notice something else here. Mykelti still appears on the show, which makes me wonder, could she still be under contract with TLC? Because here's the thing, when you're tied to a TV network, they have a lot of control over what you can and can't say publicly. Let me explain what I mean. Say you go out there and start speaking your mind freely, maybe even saying things the network doesn't like. Well, if you're still under contract, they'll pull you back in real fast. The network can easily remind you of what's written on paper. The do's and don'ts, the legal terms, the signature you gave agreeing to them. And those contracts? They're serious. They can say things like, "You will appear on camera when required," or "You will not make unauthorized public statements about production." So, if Mykelti is still bound by those terms, it makes sense that she might be toning things down or taking a more neutral tone about her dad right now. It's also possible that this promotion of Kody's new gig could even be something encouraged by the network itself, a way to stir interest, generate buzz, and show a more positive side of the family after all the public drama. Either way, the timing feels very deliberate. And while we can't know exactly what's happening behind the scenes, it's clear there's been a shift. Mykelti isn't slamming her dad. She's supporting him, laughing with Tony, and even talking about their family, like things are okay again. Maybe it's part of a PR move. Maybe it's genuine healing. Or maybe it's a mix of both. But one thing's for sure, it's definitely caught fans' attention. Viewers who've followed the Browns for years can tell that this kind of interaction is not typical. Something's changing, and whether it's contract-driven or emotionally driven, the results are showing. So, what do you think? Is Mykelti truly reconnecting with Kody? Or is this just a carefully timed move by TLC to keep fans watching? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because this new dynamic might be hinting at bigger shifts coming in Sister Wives.